Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Friday's Breakfast with Boom. I'm your host, Mr. Boomstick XL, and my goodness, we have an action-packed show for you today. As you can see, the panel is stacked, and so are the topics. So let's get into introductions so we can break down all of these very fine conversations that we are going to have, and some of them are going to be fun. And some of them are going to be fiery because there's a lot to get to. And of course, we're going to start with some of the regular panel members. And we'll start with our chainsaw cutting, awesome voice making, certainly should be hired by a gaming company to voice a rough looking character. Please welcome Crispy Bomb.
Oh, what's up, Boom? What's up, chat panel? We are ready to roll. It is going to be a fun morning. And yes, I am back finally.
Yeah. Yes, well, it's great. It's great to have you a part of the show weekly, and it's great to have you back in your chair. Certainly appreciate the valuable opinions you bring to each show. Next up, on loan from the PlayStation Nation, and of course, I've rented him so much that I actually get him free today, so I don't have to write a check. Please welcome the voice of the trophy room, Mr. Bad Bits.
What's up? What's up? Yeah, it's kind of like a Subway card. You know what I mean? Like you
Exactly.
get 6 subs on your 7th one, it's free. Yeah, that's pretty much how PlayStation works as well. So yeah, new card starts next week. And yeah, it's actually then it's 7 subs that time. It goes higher and higher. You know what I mean?
Well, I definitely appreciate you being here as always. Next up, you're going to notice someone here that I call Superman because he has saved me more times than I can count on my fingers and toes. But he's also the newest member of Breakfast with Boom, making his debut as a regular panel member. Please welcome the community all-star known as Dreadpool.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, unfortunately, I had to put the cape down because now I'm not saving. Now I'm part of.
Yes, well, there you go. Listen, you know what? The Justice League has its members, and you have now become a part of this particular one. So, yes, you still have your cape, but you have teammates that could definitely step in to help you. And as we wait for BitCloud to make his appearance, we're going to go to our special guest. You know him as the muscle behind the Iron Lords podcast. He's also the host of his own little show known as the King of Statues, and he also has ties to lordsofgaming.net. Please welcome the very busy and popular King David.
Oh, good morning, gentlemen. Let's get it on.
Yes, indeed. Yes, we are certainly going to get it on. But you know what? While we let people just file on in here, let me catch up on some of these super chats that have come in. First of all, Philly Eagle was not only first in the chat, but he drops the first super chat. And he says this after dropping $5. Thank you so much for not only being here, but of course, your generosity. Congrats, Boom, on hitting 5K subs. Very well deserved. Here's to the next 5K. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, yesterday, while I didn't even know what happened, just was sitting there looking at some of the numbers, I noticed that I finally crossed 5K subs, and I did it before my 3rd year anniversary, which is November 3rd, 2020, my first video, which is still up and is absolutely awful. I mean, it's terrible. Welcome to Double Barrel Gaming. I should have taken it down, but I left it up as perspective to where I was and where I am now. And you can still go watch it. It's awful. It didn't even have a thumbnail. That's how bad it is. But you know what? Yeah, you have to learn, and you know, obviously you get to where you got to get. So thank you so much for the congratulations, Philly Eagle. Next up, our very good friend and a generous friend of the show, Robert Jones drops an outstanding $15 super chat and says, just a quick thought from yesterday's show. There was no mention of all the chips being bought for the server farms, which will bring down the cost of the chips for the Series X and S. You know, that's a great point, Robert.
Oh, yeah, it's a great point, yeah.
That's actually a fantastic point because Microsoft is spending a significant amount of money and buying way more chips, and obviously with it, in turn, will lower the cost of that. And there's also, what he's actually referring to is xCloud. And xCloud right now is being run by chipsets for the Xbox One S. Next year, which obviously the beginning of the year, I'm thinking more in March, potentially, all of those server racks are going to be changed to Xbox Series X chipsets. So that's what he's referring to if you're a little confused as to the extra chips that they're buying, because not only are these chipsets going to power the Series X and the S, they're also going to be powering the cloud known as Project X Cloud, which of course allows you as a gamer to play wherever you want, on a tablet, on the phone, on your TV, on your console. So that's what he's talking about. And that's actually a fantastic point. And I think with that being said, there is a reason why VJ, who's obviously a part of the Xbox Factor podcast, and his suggestion that in 2020, Microsoft can, in fact, if they really wanted to, release the Series X for $400, and that is still a possibility. Next up we have a very good friend of the show and a very generous friend of the show. He is our resident Souls master. Sin Vendetta drops an outstanding $5 super chat and says, "Sigh. Another Friday, another day without pricing or pre-order info for Series X or PlayStation 5. Disrespectful." Yeah, dude, I gotta be honest with you, man. It is getting a little monotonous. I think that the longer they wait, again, we are just all frustrated because I think most of us just want to lock in these consoles. Get that pre-order in, drop your money down. Like for me, because I'm going to get it from GameStop. I still shop there. I'm going to pay it in full. I have enough money for both. Pay it in full with the taxes, and once it's locked in, you don't got to worry about it. Next up, we have the regulator 951 drops an outstanding $2 super chats. Good morning, Boom, and awesome panel. Well, thank you, dude. Super appreciate that. We also have, I believe it's Steel Rain drops an outstanding $10 super chat. Says Mr. 5K Boom Dominus going for the Maximus at 10K. Everyone turn up one time for Boom Chat. We're live, baby. Well, thank you. Yeah, dude. 10,000 is the one of the goals. We hit 1,000, then the next one is 10. Hopefully by the middle of next year, that would be great. Spider-Man drops an outstanding $5 super chat and says, "I don't care about Metascore, but since toxic Sony fans online does, Battletoads has a higher score than Days Gone. Can I get a King David laugh?"
Boy, let me tell you, that's a quality game right there, baby.
Absolutely is. And oh wow, we have a very, very large and outstanding $50 super chat from a good friend of the show, Resident Link Gaming. And he drops an outstanding $50 super chat and says, "Congratulations to 5K. Well, thank you, dude, for being here. Thank you for your generosity. And of course, thank you for the compliment." Masshole 1977 drops a $2 super chat and says, "Congrats on 5K. No BS. Battletoads is good." I'll tell you this. I'm about 4 hours in, and Battletoads is probably one of my favorite games of 2020. And I know people are going to give me shit for that, but it is a fantastic game, and people need to stop because, again, King David can attest. We're old school cats. We played in the arcades. We played The Simpsons. We played the Turtles and X-Men and Avengers, and we loved it then. And I think that this, because even though it's 2020, side-scrolling beat-em-ups matter. They matter, and this was done in a way that was so well done that if you just try it, just give it a shot.
Well, if you got Game Pass, you have no choice. I mean, if you feel that you got Game Pass, you don't play that AAA title that's inside Game Pass, that's on you. But you and I played that game when it was at E3.
We sure did.
I could tell you all the differences. We'll probably talk about it later. We'll talk about all the differences from when we played it then to when I got a chance to play it now. And I'm going to tell you, it's phenomenal. But it's not a comparison. It's not a comparison with Days Gone, and it's not a comparison with the best side-scrolling beat 'em up in the last 30 years, probably. Because I know we got Streets of Rage for this year, and beautiful game. As beautiful as it is, it cannot hold a candle at all to Battletoads.
Really? Because I'm the exact opposite. Like, I love
Streets of Rage.
Streets of, like it was really fun, like playing with Luke, because I suck at beat 'em ups. So like this game wasn't for me. That's fine. So like being able to play with someone who is actually decent though, that helped me out greatly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, you know, the co-op factor works in.
Yeah.
But it's so much technical stuff going on with it, and they change a lot. But we'll talk about it, I guess. But trust and believe. If it's inside Game Pass, you owe it to yourself to treat yourself, and that's what it is. It's one big treat. When you see a good movie on Netflix, you go, what's that? You click on it, you watch it for a little bit. If it catches your attention, you continue to watch it and finish the movie. Yeah. And, you know,
and
this
is
is
the beauty of
thing.
Game Pass. It's like, though this game isn't for me, it's fine. Because like I'm playing Sea of Thieves, so like you know what I mean. Like Sea of Thieves got me even to try out the game because of the interconnectivity and the rewards that are in Game Pass itself. So like either the game's not for me, I got a kick-ass a vehicle skin in Sea of Thieves just for trying it out.
You sure did. Yeah, you actually did. And Battletoads ship is dope. I'm not even gonna lie, it is really well done. Again, I just love the little connections to other games. I think that's one of the things that makes Sea of Thieves super cool is that they take other games and add it to theirs, and they might be minute additions, but it's something special. That's why. I mean, listen again. Sea of Thieves not for me, honestly, not for me. But it's amazing that they do these things. Real quick, Smitty Smith drops not one, but two outstanding and outrageous super chats. And he says this on his first one for $5. Congratulations, my brother Boom, on 5K subs. You deserve this, and much more because you put the work in, and there's no stopping you now. The Book of X. Well, thank you for that. And he also drops an additional outstanding $20 super chat and says, because you are Boom. Well, thank you so much, dude. Super appreciate that. Listen, let's get into something that has been a bit bothering me, and I think it's been bothering the community. And then we're going to get to the one of the big topics for King David specifically. Look, being someone that has a huge amount of respect for everyone in the gaming industry, that includes, of course, the fans, the developers, and the publishers, and everybody in the middle. Because because they exist, podcasters like us exist, right? They give us something to talk about. And I say this because today, what has transpired over the last 24 to 48 hours, it has hit just about every gaming news outlet and publication, and it was a highly discussed form of a discussed topic within the industry, but within the gaming scope, us the gamers who actually buy these games. Now, if you remember, in 2019, Jeff Keighley's Game Awards made some real strides to making it a legitimate award show. And one of the games in that show that took the world critically by storm was Remedy's Control. And I'm going to tell you this right now, as a fan of Quantum Break, as a huge fan of Remedy, I absolutely love this game. I bought it. I purchased the DLC. On the second DLC, which is releasing on the 27th, which is only a couple of days away, we're getting the Alan Wake crossover. I mean, folks, think about this. Just saying the words give me goosebumps. Alan Wake's universe exists in the Control universe. That should make anyone who is a gamer tickled pink, simply because if you enjoyed Control for what it was, because you enjoyed Quantum Break, and of course if you're an old school cat and enjoyed Alan Wake on the Xbox 360, well, this is something special because Alan Wake is making a comeback. So what does this say for the average gamer? Well, there's a couple of things. One, Control is potentially going to be a franchise, not just a one and done game. And if the people, meaning us, the gamers, the people who purchased the DLC, who purchased these games, if Alan Wake is well received, there's a good chance, folks, that we could get an actual Alan Wake reboot / sequel. And that is exciting as a gamer. But this is where the 10-car pileup starts. Okay? Now, Remedy, it was, in my opinion, hitting on all cylinders. And I say that because Control came out. Now, it didn't sell the way that they wanted, but it was critically received. And of course, it won awards out the ass, right? They're working on Crossfire X for the Xbox Series X. And that's an exclusive. And Crossfire X, if you don't know, is a first-person shooter that was tremendously popular in Korea, and it never had a Call of Duty, quote-unquote, single-player campaign. And Remedy, being as talented storytellers that they are taking on a genre that they've never done before. So again, super exciting as a Remedy fan. But that goddamn 10-car pileup has now just ruined everything. And what am I talking about? Well, on something that I believe literally set the internet on fire, Remedy announced Control the Ultimate Edition. And it was going to be released for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X for $40. And in that Ultimate package was the quote-unquote free next-gen upgrade to take full advantage of the new console's hardware power for both the PlayStation 5 and Series X. Unfortunately, though, current supporters like me, like you, like many people in this chat, will not be getting the upgraded visuals after buying the game day one and supporting Remedy, actually being one of these people that went out and said, you know what, Remedy, I loved Quantum Break. I didn't like Quantum Break, but I like Control and I'm going to support you. And guess what? I'm going to buy that DLC. Well, the internet firestorm was created. Now, again, originally when this was announced, when you talked about this a week ago on Primetime Gaming, we're not going to talk about what was originally announced. What we're going to talk about today is the PR nightmare that happened 24 hours ago when they put out a public statement. And I want to read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read only some of it to give a context of why I'm so pissed. This is what it says, and I quote, "Last week, alongside information about our upcoming AWE expansion for Control, we also released information about Control Ultimate Edition, a Control package featuring the Foundation and the AWE expansions coming to current and next-gen consoles as well as PC. We spent several months exploring all of our launch options for Control Ultimate Edition, and no decision was taken lightly. While it was challenging bringing any game into the next generation platforms, we quickly realized that it was even more difficult to upgrade our current user base to next gen with a fully parried across platforms with our year-old game. Every avenue was pursued. Then was some form of blocker. And those blockers meant at least one group of players ended up being left out of the upgraded visuals for various reasons. As of today, we can't offer to everyone, and leaving any group out, it feels unfair. So we understand that's not what you want to hear." Really? You freaking think? So here's who this is where it gets really good, folks. To bring Control to next generation consoles in any form, we had to make some difficult decisions, and those came in the form of creating the simplified Control Ultimate Edition product plan we have today. That we took a while in responding does not mean we have not been listening. We are sorry we couldn't meet everyone's expectations, and we hope you will continue to support Control. And we thank you for your support thus far. Well, get ready for this. Fuck you, Remedy. Okay? That's my one F-bomb for the day. So just to show you how pissed I was, and you know what? Before I give you that, let's welcome in Our very good friend, BitCloud Gaming. Dude, welcome to the show, my brother. How you feeling?
Sleepy.
Doing good. What's up, man?
There he is. He's here. Well, listen, Big Cloud, thank you so much for being here, brother. We got I put a resistance topic in here specifically for me, you, and Mr. Bad because we are fans. We're going to get to that in a moment, but let me bring up this 2 tweets that I wrote. Now, I'm all about visual evidence, so I don't have to paraphrase myself. So this is what I wrote in tweet number 1. Talk about screwing the fans who purchased day one. And of course, I quoted what they said. And I don't like doing this. Hashtag boycott control. And I hate using the word. I hate suggesting such a thing. But I think that this is a real kick in the face. Because if you were one of these folks like me who went out and bought Control, and you went out and bought the DLC to support Remedy because they're a smaller company and I really enjoy their games, and then they pull this, it's hurtful, it's wrong in every aspect. So sitting on it bothered me. So of course you can see the next tweet simply says this: second post, after sitting on this, I'm even more disgusted. Your so-called reasoning is gross and seems greedy in your attempt to recoup lower than expected sales. Your credibility in this community has been shattered, and I can tell you, I'm no longer looking forward to Crossfire X. So, Joe, I want to go to you first on this. And the reason why I want to go to you first on this is because we talked about this in the pregame behind closed doors yesterday. We didn't bring it up during the Xbox Factor podcast because we were going to talk about it today. I'm interested to know what you think about this shenanigans, if you will.
First off, it's shitty, right? Like no way around it. Reading the whole PR post that they put.
And you're a PR guy, by the way.
Yeah. That it screamed to me they didn't want to do this. This is a 505 decision, and that's the thing that sucks is because their credibility is going to get hurt. It is going to get damaged, and it's because it's screamed publishers making us do this. They want to get more money out of this because of how critically successful it was last year, and riding the hype of Alan Wake and all that. So to me, first and foremost, Control, I always bounce around as like my game of the year last year. I think it's a terrific game. I think Remedy, it was my first Remedy game. So like, I've never played Alan Wake. That is part of my pile of shame. And so like, it is fantastic to see, video game worlds being tied in MCU like to each other.
Yeah.
Now seeing this Ultimate Edition gives me 2 thoughts. One being, totally disgusting, totally a greedy ass move. And whether it is 505's, behind the scenes telling Remedy to do this or not, it's still a sucky thing to do if you're Remedy. And they can't simply go out and say, oh, 505 is making us do this, right? They can't, because who knows what the ramifications for that would be, just business-wise, and then into the future if you're ever looking for partners. So, yeah, it's a shit move. The other thing that I just kind of wished, and it's just, I know it's purely, me feeling the burn, but like, I really would have wished when Xbox announced Smart Delivery, that it wasn't a choice, that they stood firm and said, hey, if you have a game, like if you're launching a game, let's just say Watch Dogs, right? And I know that's part of Smart Delivery, but if you're launching a game that's going to be on Xbox One and Xbox Series X, they have to be Smart Delivery enabled. You can't charge the consumer twice.
You can't do that. You can't. That's anti-capitalism. You can't do that. We live in a capitalistic state. That right there will not fly. It wouldn't fly with me. You'll never get a game from me. I will put my games on PlayStation.
Oh man. Well, they would get my money for sure, but they can't do that because there are so many companies out there that are like, no. We still want to make remasters and remakes. That's the one big push.
But
so like,
how do you pay your company? Like, how do you know? You see, you don't know the ins and outs and the financials behind a company. So how do you pay your company? You have to charge for these little increments of going up. If Microsoft is charging you to purchase a console, right?
Yeah.
They're not giving you an X for free because you already purchased with us.
Yeah.
You with us. You've been in our ecosystem. Here's this. No, they're not. There's no program that says give me back your Xbox One X and you can get this console for free. So you can't say, well, on one hand, you can force a company to do something that is so anti-capitalism, and then you don't follow the same rules. Now, if Microsoft was following the same rules, now, hey, do it. But they're not.
And exactly. That's why I said it would never happen. That's why, it's just the pie in the sky feel the burn thing.
Right.
So like, I definitely understand though what King's saying here is, look, I don't think it's as simple as a lot of people think of like flipping a switch. I do think it goes, work has to go into making sure that when they're porting this game over to the Xbox Series X and the PS5, that things work smoothly. And so that does take manpower, and that does take people away from Remedy, and that does take money to create. And with that being a choice that, smart delivery and the PS5 upgrades are choices, I can't be fully upset with Remedy or 505 because that's their choice. But it also means that I don't have to go out there and buy that thing, which I probably won't. Right. So I'll probably wait until, Control 2 or Alan Wake 2 or whatever the case may be. But to me, it is the thing of as a fan, it sucks. But I also think of how many people, realistically, how many people are going back, and this is a business thing as well. King could probably attest to this. They probably have people looking at the analytics going, okay, how many people are actually going back to this game after beating it, after platinuming it, after going through the expansions, right? How can we get people caught up to this new expansion Frost with Alan Wake? And I think that's what they were looking at. And right now it is a slow news cycle. And so people are justifiably so really angry with them. I'm disappointed. I'm like a parent. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. So at the end of the day, that's kind of how I feel about it. It sucks. But their business, they got to make money.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. And King, the reason why I want to bring King next in on this, simply because you mentioned the word businessman. And we know that that's something that he does. King, here's the problem. The problem is when you look at the other companies that are not charging their players who buy the game on the Xbox One X currently and the PS4, you're going to get the upgrades for free. We know three of them that have been confirmed, right? We know that Avengers is getting the upgrade for free. We know that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is getting the upgrade for free. I believe Far Cry 6 is going to get the upgrade for free when it's available. And you also have the granddaddy of them all, Cyberpunk 2077, which was the first company to come out and say, no, listen, we're not going to charge twice. You buy the game once, you should be able to play it with the better version, and you shouldn't be charged twice. And when you look at these companies, yes, every one of these companies are bigger than Remedy and 505 Games, but it still doesn't take away the sting, and it also even adds more shade to the conversation. I mean, let me pose a question to you here. Do you think that this, regardless of whose choice it was, whether it was 505, Remedy, a combination of both, do you think that their credibility with this community and Control are hurt on future potential sequels?
No, not at all. First, I believe Smart Delivery was born from Microsoft being in bed with CD Projekt Red. I don't think it came from anything other than that and their philosophy, because that's a CD Projekt Red philosophy. Free. We make this should be for free. You purchase our game once, our DLC, you should be getting this stuff for free. And they have ingratiated themselves with a level of stock in the gaming community that is unheard of. right? So Microsoft
Right.
saw that, spoke with them, and I mean, they probably had a little kumbaya sitting down at the table talking about going forward and how can they actually do certain things. That's why I believe in my heart, day and date when that Xbox Series X is out, CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk 2077 will be inside Xbox Game Pass. You can't believe that philosophy to permeate other companies where the bottom line is the bottom line. Now, I never brought Control. The reason why I never brought Control is I'm not buying no games anyway, unless I know for a fact. Like if it's on a PlayStation and it's like Ghost of Tsushima, I know it ain't going to Game Pass. Gotta get it. Last of Us 2, I know it ain't going in Game Pass. Gotta get it. So certain games that I know that there's no possible chance that it'll get in Game Pass, then I gotta get it. But those games that I feel that there's a chance that it will get in Game Pass, when that deal that they have with Sony is up, that game will be inside Game Pass. So I'm not worried about it. My games will be played in Game Pass. I pay for a service for a reason. I say this to tell people that stop trying to be first. Let these dudes understand where your purchasing dollar is going.
Yeah.
So when they see where all the money is going, because trust me, they watch trends. And if they drop a hit and it doesn't resonate with people, and they say, well, what's going on? Who's getting all the money? Somebody's getting all the money because this month our game was supposed to make X amount of dollars. Well, Game Pass went up. It went up. What's the engagement numbers on certain games that's like our game in the same genre? Oh, it's through the roof. Is it higher than ours? Yes. Then we need to find our way onto that platform.
Yeah. Good
So
point.
when you start taking your dollars and remove the FOMO, remove keeping up, because my mother told me back in the days, keeping up with the Joneses is going to make you broke. You know that, Boom. You know
I
they told
certainly
you
do.
that. Like,
Yes.
oh, I see those new Jordans. I got to get them. You don't got to do anything. Nothing's going to happen if you don't get them. You have to start purchasing wisely, because our purchases in this new future is definitely going to have ripples. It's going to be ripple effects. So if you don't purchase the DLC with Control, they're going to wonder why. If you don't purchase Madden day one, they're going to wonder why. If you don't purchase certain games that don't have smart delivery, they're going to wonder why. If you wait to get the X version on a game, they're going to wonder why. Because they can see that you already had an Xbox One X. And how come you didn't take that jump and splurge on their package? And then when they figure it out, your game is going to be in somebody's service. Stadia, Game Pass, PlayStation Now, someplace, your game is going to be there and you're going to engage with it. Just have a little bit of patience, people. That's all.
No, I mean, it does make a lot of sense. But at the end of the day, I understand it is a business, and I understand that they had to reallocate, resources to bringing it to the next generation. But again, the wording is where it goes wrong. We knew that a group was going to be left out, and we're sorry about it. Wow. Like you said that out loud and you thought that was good. Somebody wrote this, folks. Somebody from PR wrote this and was like, yep, go with this one. This gives an excellent explanation.
It sounds nice, Boom.
Oh, sure.
It sounds really nice when you're writing it. It really does. It sounds like we knew that a group would be left out and we apologize. We're sorry. Sure, but you're left out, though. We knew it was going to hurt somebody. And unfortunately, you guys that spend your hard-earned cash and was supporting us, you take the hit. My bad. Like, it sounded nice. And I know maybe it shouldn't have been wrote, but we also want transparency, right? Can't be wrong if they're keeping it real, right?
I suppose. Yeah. No, I definitely hear what you're saying.
The PR perspective as well. I know for 110% fact, they knew whatever they were going to write was not going to be good enough.
I agree. I definitely think you're right with that.
Yeah, I was listening to How Games Make Money. Oh God, I forget her name, but she works for Tinsley PR, and she says she said it perfectly. Always prepare for the worst, and expect just bad things to happen. So, like, rolling with the punches. This was definitely the worst case scenario for them. And yeah, there was no way around it. There was no way of making this go down better. And it sucks.
No, it definitely does. What I want to do is I want to bring Crispy Bomb, because I know we've been talking privately through DMs about this, and I know he has a lot to say. But Crispy, before I get to you, let me just catch up on some of these very generous super chats. First of all, Shane Tomlin is here. Thanks for hanging out, Shane. He drops very generous $5 super chat. Says the first show to now, no improvement since. LOL. Just kidding. Well done on the 5K. Battletoads is great. Yes, indeed. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being here as always, Shane. Definitely appreciate that. We also have Sin Vendetta once again shows his outstanding generosity with an additional $10 super chat. Says crappy price gouging practices are the reason I haven't bought an EA game since Mass Effect Andromeda, Activision game since Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare, or any mobile game. I mean, listen, you're smart with your money, and that's how you hurt these people. We also have to say welcome and thank you to a very good friend of the show, Enrique from the Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Reps an outstanding $2 super chat and says, boom, congrats on the 5K. Woo! PC Master Race. Yeah, you love your PC Master Race. We also have Abacaba72 drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, my question is, will the achievements stack for both versions? No, they won't. That's been confirmed. It's literally the same game. They've actually said it is literally the same game that you've paid for. You just have to pay $40 for the upgrade. That's really what you're doing, unless you never had the game. If you never had the game, then it's a new game. Then are new achievements. And he says, if so, wouldn't mind playing it twice, like a remaster on the PlayStation Trophy stack. Also, yeah, I mean, I see your point. I wouldn't mind doubling up achievements for sure. Sean Carpenter drops a very generous $2 super just as Game Pass for the win. It's for real, effing gamers. Xbox for the win. Yeah, I agree. And we have I Wonder Gaming drops an outstanding $5 super chat. Says, morning gaming fam. I'm late because I can't get enough of Battletoads. Yeah, you know what? Me too. I played about 3 hours this morning and I am loving it. Beautiful game, fun and challenging gameplay, and love Zits. Hit that. And thank you so much for being here. While we have a few more that came in, we have East Texas Alex T with the outstanding $5 super chat and says, good morning, everyone. Just wanted to let everyone know how much I appreciate all the content everyone on this panel puts out. Great show. Well, thanks, Alex. Definitely appreciate that. And we have Mr. Tushy dropping a $2 super chat. Says, I'm impressed. I have not heard today's fire truck yet. You know what, dude? It's coming. It's coming, dude. Crispy, look, you have been very vocal about this particular situation, and for good reason. It is gross. We understand it's business, but you can't leave your day one supporters in the cold with we tried, we're sorry, and we're out. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, let's be honest. They might as well have just said, hey, we want the money. Thank you. Okay. The fact is that you are trying to get this last and final cash grab before you go to Game Pass. Yep. That's what's happening. We all heard Phil when he slipped up. He rarely slips up. That wasn't just on his mind just to mess with people. He firmly knows that it's coming, because clearly 505 especially is going to want to make as much money as possible. And yes, Microsoft pays people to go into Game Pass. So that's their last and final. This is their last and final push right now to get as much as they can out of people. And I mean, that entire thing was just a bunch of BS. I mean, you could have summed it up in one paragraph. We needed the money, and between the different architectures and being on PC, it costs too much, so we need the money.
Well, I mean, and it makes sense, because like when it was announced that it was coming to PlayStation Now, what comes a week afterwards? Their DLC.
Yes,
the exclusive DLC. So like, yeah, this is definitely just we want your money.
But and why not take a little bit of heat off? You could have just said, okay, we understand that everyone's upset. Here's the deal: if you already have the game, we're only charging you $20 to get the Ultimate Edition. So you cut the price in half. At the least, that's saying, hey, we get it. It doesn't look good. And they can't even do that. Like, you need the money that bad. I mean, you have so many avenues. You got money to go into PS Now. It boggles my mind that a company that is on a high note, that is rolling through in the next gen, saying we are a great place to play games, we make great games, and you're gonna go and have this PR nightmare. And you could have literally gotten people like, I never purchased the game. I always think it's gonna be the Game Pass like thing. So, you know, and I'm sure this is exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna say, okay, in 6 months, they're gonna say the Ultimate Edition's on Game Pass. And that's what they're going to do. And they created it. They're getting paid 3-4 times for it, the way they look at it. And it's just, it's sad that, you know, most people that have Game Pass are now just going to wait. They're going to wait and they're going to say, I'm not spending another $40, especially if they already played the game. They're not going to spend another $40. It just, why? Why would you do that? Say 20 if you have the game. Like, it's so simple. Like, you're still making money. You didn't invest that much. You're just up-resing the damn thing. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Listen, I agree. I think it's considering the trajectory of the company, with, you know, really surprising a lot of gamers with Control, the Alan Wake DLC, and of course the Crossfire X game. Now again, it's you have to buy the game. It's not going to be in Game Pass. The multiplayer Game Pass, that game, I would have gladly paid full price because it's going to be like a Call of Duty campaign. It's going to be awesome. But like I said in my tweet, because of this, I unless they do something to fix the problem, I will not support Remedy anymore. I'm going to vote with my wallet, and I will not buy another piece of DLC that I haven't paid, or a game from them, because that's how you hurt these companies. And I don't like doing that.
What makes it more egregious? They were the proponent for ray tracing. Their game was the best game on a PC for ray tracing.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's scalable, it's a scalable engine that they could have just did it for no problems. They chose not to because they want the cash grab. So I can't blame them for doing it, but unless you hold their feet to the fire, they're going to keep and continue to do so. And like you said, they're getting money 7 ways to Sunday. They got the money from the initial release. They got the money from the DLC. They got the money from when PlayStation was doing a promotion for the game. They got promotion. They got the money from when it's a PlayStation Now. And they're going to get money from when it goes into Game Pass. And then they're going to get money from you when they up-res it and sell it back to you. They're getting money 6 to 7 different ways. And guys, don't feel bad for them if you don't purchase the thing.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Dreadpool, let's bring you into the conversation, because you said you had something that you were saving for the show. What are your thoughts on this egregious act of disrespect towards the consumer from Remedy and 505 Games?
Okay, first of all, people forget that this game is already going to be BC on your Xbox Series X, right? So you're going to get whatever the machine learning and all that. This is all visuals. This is what everybody forgets. It's a base game, nonetheless. The design is the design. You can upgrade visuals up and down. Okay, so this isn't DLC. This isn't like any part of that. You know, this is just a visual thing. But if you go to the Steam store, Control Ultimate Edition contains the main game and all previously released expansions, right? Mm-hmm. So if this is the same thing, why are we paying? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's the absolute truth.
That's the whole thing. That and everybody's freaking out. It's like, well, do you know why? You're just upset about this, but do you realize that PC is getting it automatically? It's just a visual thing. We were just talking about ray tracing. That's just the visual thing. It's not altering the game. You're not adding something new to the game. And that's part of the thing that really should be offensive. You're paying for a visual upgrade at $40. I don't think
that's gross. It's definitely
And like everybody,
I got a question. How much is the Alan Wake DLC alone?
I think it's $10.
Oh, is it really? Oh,
yeah, I think it's $10. I think DLC package. I think when I paid for, what was it, $20? I think it was something like that. 24? No, maybe it's 15. Yeah, that's what it is. It's 15 for each one separately, which was $30, obviously. But if you bought the package that came with both, it was $5 off. So you paid $24.99.
Okay.
Okay. So here's a funny part. I also haven't played it. I haven't bought it. And is it going to hurt me?
No, with Game Pass, it's coming.
But that's the other thing. If it goes into never was on Game Pass, then I'll get a chance to play it. I don't know if I want to play it. Even if it goes into Game Pass, I don't even know if I want to download it because of this.
You know what? I mean, that's the thing.
22.
Yeah,
you want to try it out. You want to do all this. I'm waiting for it to hit Game Pass because Phil said it was going to go there. If he slipped or if it was a misunderstanding and we're taking
no, he don't make mistakes. He runs Xbox.
Well, we also said VR, and everybody's still holding him to VR, and it's like, look, things
they changed it. They changed their mind on VR. That's no big deal.
That could also be this. Things can change, but this is easier to implement than the whole VR debacle that everybody brings up. Now, yet again, like I said, they're going to get their money when they go into Game Pass. So this is a last-ditch effort to get more money out of you, but yet, like I said, it's just a visual upgrade.
It's not even about Game Pass, too. I'm sorry to cut you off. It's like, because they said the visual upgrade, if I'm not mistaken, is coming at the end of the year. They're trying to capitalize on the fact that these new consoles are coming out. Yeah. So like that's the big thing they're trying to capitalize on at this point in time. They know that there's not going to be a lot of games for these consoles at launch. They want to capitalize on that and make you, the consumer, pay for that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it doesn't surprise me in the least. But you know what? Again, you got to vote for your wallet. You know what? Before we close out,
I'm sorry, Dreadpool. I was totally rude. My apologies.
No, that's okay. Right. Dude. Listen, that's all right. Let's bring BitCloud Gaming into the conversation so we can close out topic number 1 and move on to some of the other tantalizing conversations we're going to have. BitCloud, you've seen what's been going on. You've heard everyone's opinion on it. For you, did you play Control? And obviously, you probably played it on the PlayStation 4 simply because it was a marketed game there and also had the DLC first. Did you finish it? Did you platinum it? Does this even matter to you that they're charging $40 for a visual upgrade?
Didn't even play it at all, especially when I heard the performance.
There you go. Yeah, the performance was very choppy in the beginning.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't support Control until I see another Max Payne.
Well, there you go. I mean, listen, that would be great. I would love a new Max Payne. Again, if it was Remedy, they're not getting my money until they fix this and basically, do something for the fans because I think this is gross.
Yeah. If you're against anti-consumer practices, don't support it. That's just how you do it. Don't you speak with your wallet? That's what they say.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's how these companies hear you. They hear you when something comes out and it doesn't sell, and they're like, man, why is that selling? Well, now you know why. Well, listen, what I want to do is something a little bit unusual, because we, as a podcaster, I obviously cover all 3 consoles, right? But for the most part of the conversation, Nintendo rarely works its way into the conversation simply because, well, I mean, not that I'm a fan. I mean, I have 60 games for the Switch, and I'm going to continue to support the console because I'm a Nintendo kid. I really am, but. What I want to do is, before I get into the topic, let me just catch up on some of these super chats, and then we'll get right into the topics. He says, let's see, where we up over here. Okay, we have Thanos, a very good and generous friend of the show. He drops an outstanding $5 super chat. Says, Battletoads 2020 is fire. Not Battletoads people wanting, but the Battletoads people needed. That's a great point. Kay Asante is here. Thanks for hanging out, dude. He drops a very generous $5 super chat. Says, this is Steam detecting your new video card and making you pay $5 to unlock the ray tracing button. They did not work. He said, no, they did no work. Just unlock features from PC. That is a good point. Eagles fan 76 drops a very generous $2 super chat. Oh yeah, Black Myth Wukong, that was a surprise. Yeah, that game does look absolutely amazing. So first, it looks like something Sin Vendetta would definitely play. Philly Eagle drops an additional $5 super chat. Says, is it just me, or did PR nightmares only affect the so-called hardcore? I'm pretty sure they called casuals the so-called casuals couldn't care less. I don't know. I mean, you're probably right. I think that we're probably going to be the vocal minority, if you will. But I just think that I think the more people that talk about it, the more people will learn that what they're doing is wrong. And Victor Alstein drops a very generous $2 super chat, and he asked the same thing. Did you see the Black Myth Wukong trailer? Thoughts? I thought it looked great. 13 minutes. It's extremely polished. Like that, it looked like that game could logistically come out today, and apparently it's far off. It's a couple of years. I believe it's 2 years out. We're gonna see who gets it, where it releases, whether it's PC exclusive, Microsoft exclusive, PS4 exclusive, or they release it on everything. Who knows at this point? But what I want to do is I want to move on to the topic that I did specifically because King David was going to be here, and in honor of our very special guest, who does not need an introduction, but we'll get one anyway. He is one of the biggest Zelda fans that I know, but more so, he has been banging his Zelda Skyward Sword drum for years, and it appears that vindication is close at hand. And in the story that I pulled from comicbook.com, the new/old Zelda title was accidentally or on purpose posted on I believe it was Amazon that posted it to, and many Zelda fans went crazy because this is a game that released originally on the Wii. And it was a game that based its control on the motion on the nunchuck, and that, believe it or not, it's one of the Zelda games that I actually did not play simply because I didn't want to play Zelda like that. I wanted to play Zelda traditionally, and I think that you're probably going to get that mode come this new Switch release. And I gotta say this right off the bat. I applaud Nintendo for doing what they're doing with bringing back some of these classics. I think it's ingenious. I think that there are a lot of folks who did not get a chance to play some of these older games. I'm still waiting for the Metroid Prime trilogy to release on the Switch. I will buy it. We know for an absolute fact, because we saw box art for it, that the Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy are all coming on one card, folks. They're all going to be HD upgraded, and they're going to be available on the Switch, and that is the ultimate package. I believe that's coming this fall. I don't know when, but the announcement's coming. And again, the Skyward Sword was probably supposed to be a surprise, but it accidentally leaked on Amazon UK. Now, the listing went live over the weekend and prompting the speculation for all Zelda fans that more Zelda are incoming. We could get obviously Skyward Sword, but we could get Twilight Princess, which again, I would buy another version of it because I'm that big of a fan. But King David, I've heard you talk about this particular Zelda game almost every episode of the ILP. And the reason why you bring it up into conversation is because when you guys go into, okay, what are your top franchises? And someone mentions Zelda, you immediately cut them off and say Skyward Sword. I'm interested to know, when you saw this story pop up in the DM, you were like, listen, I don't care, hell or high water, I'm going to be on the show because I got to talk about this. How excited actually are you for not just yourself, but other Zelda fans like me who never played this game to actually play this on the Switch with HD upgraded visuals?
Well, first and foremost, for those people that told me I'll never get it, that's for you. I want you to just wear it on your head, and I just want you to just sit there and take that. That's you. That's you right there, because you're a fraud. Now, when it came across my timeline and I saw Dan Butchko at me, that's the CEO of Play NYC and Playcrafting. Mm-hmm. Go follow him. He's on Twitter, Dan Butchko. Yo, He's the only person that was on the show on ILP and said Zelda Skyward Sword is his favorite Zelda. And I swear, you guys don't understand. It's like seeing, like, you know, a lot of you guys, whoever's a lefty, it's like seeing another lefty, like, oh, sweat, right? You're a lefty, I'm a lefty too. It's like that feeling that you get a chance to see somebody that is in that little exclusive club, that person that took a dare on it. Because remember, at the time when the Wii was going off, it was really for a lot of casuals. So you had a lot of, you know, like casual people playing it and playing Wii Sports. And then you had the 360 and you had the PlayStation 3 just going toe to toe. So of course that Zelda can fall through the cracks. But what endeared me to that Zelda, because ever since I first picked up the first NES and I played Zelda with the golden cartridge, I always wanted to know what it felt like to swing a sword and to hold a shield. And I said it would be amazing if I'm ever able to do that. And that Wii controller with that nunchuck and that wand gave me 1-1 in doing so.
It sure did, yeah.
And I felt like a child, like a kid, like I don't know. Miyamoto is
like me
a
back
genius.
in games.
Yeah, it's just he's a genius. He's a pure, unadulterated genius. And for that game to slip through the cracks, and for them now to have better tech, it only seemed right that game would release. And it's like, it's when you guys get a chance to play it, you're gonna say, man, how the hell did I miss this game? Like,
I hope they release a special controller that you can put the it comes with a shield and a sword. You can put the
it'd be beautiful. It would be beautiful. I would buy it.
So would I.
I would literally buy it if I could put a little fake little sword and have a fake little shield on my knuckle. And it's because it's things that happen in the game that forces you to play in that manner. And this way, see, because before you was tethered because you had that little tether. Right, so I mean, even if it was long, you were still, you know, a little tethered. Now, nunchuck over here and nunchuck over here. You can do whatever, and it's gonna be so much fun. It's going to visually, it is pleasing, and a lot of those characters that you get now, you're gonna see that you got in Breath of the Wild. You're gonna see this is where they originated from. Those little sky flying dudes.
Yeah,
there's little you're gonna be like, oh, this is wow. You're gonna say, oh man, they was always laying the groundwork, and it always started from here. So I when I saw it, I smiled, and I just went right back to the moment.
You ever seen that Brooklyn? You ever seen that Brooklyn Nine-Nine one with the chief when he goes vindication? It's on fire.
Yes. Yes, and that's exactly how I feel.
I thought of you because you have always been talking about this game, and you said you told people I was there. You said this game is coming to the Switch, and people poo-pooed you.
They were saying, "Get out of here! Nobody wants to see that game, King." I'm like, Nintendo do, Miyamoto do.
We know Cognito, who is probably listening right now. He is going to be buying that game because you know he's Mr. Switch.
He has no choice. I'm going to gift it for him. I'm going to buy it and send it to his house because they don't have no gifting system over there. But I'll just have to purchase it physical and send it to him.
Yes, with the potentially special edition sword and shield package that would hopefully Nintendo breaks because that's really good. Again, this is not the biggest topic, but because it's so important to King, it was important to me. Chris, I want to go to you next on this. Obviously, I don't even know if you have a Switch, but do you have any thoughts or theories as to besides Skyward Sword coming, do you think that this is a good move for Nintendo to bring back classic games on consoles that most people don't own anymore in a more in an HD format, something that we didn't have on early Nintendo consoles.
Well, yeah, no Switch here, and yeah, I was always a Sega guy more than anything, except for the N64. N64 was pretty well played out for me. I played a lot of games on that. I mean, what does Nintendo do wrong? Hey, let's be serious. This is what they do. I mean, everybody says, it's another game from Xbox or it's another game from PlayStation, but at the end of the day, that's part of the nostalgia, part of why people love Nintendo is because they continue to either remake or remaster or make a different iteration or put a new skin on the old car, as we like to say. And it's what they do, and I guess that's why I don't have a Switch, because I feel like like Mario 64 near and dear to my heart, but I played the game, and maybe I'd play it one more time if I had a Switch, but it's just when it comes down to it, it's not worth my purchase in my mind. But great on everybody that wants it. I mean, and you're gonna get them. I mean, they're gonna try to make as much money as they can, and what better way than take games that maybe some people didn't play on the Wii, because the Wii was like more about the sports and everything else. It wasn't really.
Yeah. I love Wii bowling. I love Wii bowling.
Yeah, and it wasn't really something that a game like this would have really gotten a highlight, because you had grandmas playing Wii bowling on a Sunday, and I mean, like that was the beauty of the Wii. It really involved a lot of different people, demographics, everything that you didn't have to know how to play the game necessarily. You could just move your arm and you're doing things. So I mean, some of these games are probably barely been touched, to be honest. So good on them. Keep going. I mean, you can't do anything wrong right now, Nintendo.
No, you're absolutely right. They have been really knocking it out of the park for sure, and they have been releasing games strategically. Like I said, I know that I think that because of COVID, and I think that because development of some of the older, development of some of the newer games may have been put on hold, like Bayonetta 3. I imagine that's been put on hold, like everyone else. They might have seen this thing coming to some extent and was like, you know what? If we hold off the Mario trilogy release and we hold off the 3-game Metroid Prime package and a few of the Zelda games, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Again, I'm not a developer, so what the hell do I know? But I think it would certainly be easier to just port something over as opposed to going in and actually doing real from the ground work up graphics in a time where COVID has separated teams. So this could work in Nintendo's favor, because right now the Switch is selling like hotcakes. No one can keep it in. It is the #1 selling through this entire crisis, and their games are selling off the racks. And I'm sure digitally they're selling like crazy. So if you can put out a few of these classic releases around the holiday, where, to be honest, folks, we don't know who else is going to be delayed. I have a funny feeling that of the 3 big ones that are coming, and we're going to talk about this on Monday evening, Cyberpunk, Call of Duty, and Assassin's Creed. I don't know the combination of the 2, but I'm almost positive 2 of the 3 are going to get delayed. I really have a feeling that they just cannot finish this game and launch it correctly. And it's not going to be the only games. Being Deathloop for the PlayStation 5, right? The game looked fantastic, right? Looked really good, like a lot of fun. That's been delayed till 2021. And it's not going to be the last game. It's just not. There's just way too much.
Spider-Man.
I think Spider-Man is next, to be honest with you. I think that both of these consoles are going to launch with bare bones. And I think they don't want to put, I really believe that. I just think that this world crisis that's keeping people at home, sheltering in place, has hurt the industry. And it's not just games, it's movies, it's TV shows, it's everything that has people interacting with one another. And you're going to see it. Again, folks, we're a week away from technically the fall starting in September, right? And we're 7 or 8 days, 10 days away from that. You're going to see a lot of big delays. I'm just warning everybody right now. But you know what? Let's bring Dreadpool into the conversation. Dreadpool, you obviously an older gamer like me and King, and you appreciate where we came from. For you, Zelda Skyward Sword, more specifically, re-releasing on the Switch, accidentally or on purpose, put out there to see, I guess, if the masses would go crazy. And of course, Nintendo fans did go crazy about this. Do you have a Switch, number one? And number two, is this a game that you played? And if you did, would you purchase the Zelda Skyward Sword for the Switch?
Yes, maybe.
Okay.
So,
I love it.
All right, so basically, yes, I do have a Switch. Yes, I have played it back in the Wii days.
Okay.
Okay, so you got to remember, I'm not a fan of remasters in this current generation.
Okay.
Kind of like what we just discussed about on the last topic. To me, it's not a remaster just because they're adding visuals. But this game came out in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in my outlook, when a game is last gen, or preferably not last gen, but the gen before and way back, I'm all about remaking them, remastering them, whatever they have to do to bring it up to today's generation or next generation, because my daughter's 7. Has she played that game? No. Is she going to? I hope so. You know what I mean? These are classic games that deserve to get played. Do we need to have them forgotten? No. We don't need to remake a game that just came out last year.
I agree.
Remake the games that will be forgotten if we don't bring them back forward for the next generation of gamers to enjoy and understand where we came from and have that same love for those retro games. Okay, this is not really a retro game per se, but I mean, it's 9 years old. So
yep,
we're almost there. When it came to the Wii U, it kind of failed because not many people knew about it.
Yeah, it was bad.
Right.
They only saw like 11 million of that console. Sold terribly.
Right, and the only reason why they didn't know is because the console itself was confusing to some people. I don't know why, but the name itself, okay, whatever. You could throw out all the excuses, but it didn't have a good refresh. So for them to do it now, even though it was last gen, I'm okay with. You know what I'm saying? Because it didn't have that opportunity or the chance to come out and show off what it can do. And now that the tech is even better, we're going to have better visuals. We're going to, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I can justify this coming back out. Some of the other games I still have questions on, but yeah, this is definitely one that we need to get a chance to play and also yet again, welcome the next generation of gamers into games like this.
No, absolutely, and that's why I think that the Mario triple pack is super important. Not just for me as a diehard fan. Which by the way, when that trilogy releases, I'm probably not picking up my X or PS5 for quite some time because I want to see what a new version of Mario 64 looks like. I want to see what a new version of Mario Galaxy looks like. And I definitely, one of my favorite Marios is Sunshine for the game.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait.
Like you said, like you were saying, could you imagine holding the sword and shield with those Wii controllers, just standing there? You don't need a labo. You just need to sit there and just play the game. You don't need the cardboard. Just enjoy the game with that. That'd be cool.
That would be kind of dope, and I can actually see Nintendo doing that. Real quick, I want to bring Mr. Badbit in and get his opinion on this because obviously he's a little younger than us, and I'm not sure if he remembers some of the games that we're even talking about. But let me just catch up on a few of the super chats because quite a few have come in, and I certainly don't want to miss any. Sin Vendetta. Actually, this question is for Mr. Badbit. More specifically, he says this after dropping another outstanding and very generous $5 super chat. Says, Mr. Badbit, follow your question. Did you ever pull the trigger on any of those Bloodborne First Force figure statues? He might have. You know what? He actually might have stepped away for a second. I just didn't read the message. Well, we'll come back to that.
I'm sorry. No. You know what? I accidentally muted my mic. No, I would love to get one of those figures, but right now, just not in the cards. But I did get one of the Nendroids for Bloodborne, and I think I ordered something else Bloodborne related. I
He's
know the
talking
Funko
about
Pop
those
company.
$1,400 statues.
Oh man, no. Student loans.
Student loans, folks. Student loans. Yeah.
But yeah. When it comes to Zelda Skyward Sword, I actually have a fun story about that. Got that game for free when I worked at GameStop.
Ooh, very nice.
My manager went up to me. He's like, "Hey, Joe, they gave me this game. I don't fucking play video games. You want this? I'm not. My son doesn't want it. Like, he just wanted Gears of War. So like, you want this? And it was the one that, like, it came with the controller and everything. So like, I played it for a little bit. It wasn't my jam because of the swinging and whatnot. Look at me, I'm a sedentary guy. So, but I did cop that controller. It is still in a drawer somewhere.
It's gold, right?
Yeah, it's gold. It's a really nice Wiimote. But I will say this: if it comes to Switch, I am looking for an excuse to dust mine off. Okay. So I would definitely go back to this and try it out with like standard controls. Because what I would really like to see, and I bet this is probably a feature in here, is that they have the Wii controls with the the Switch controllers, or like a classic mode where it's just like use the buttons to swing. But like,
I think they'll offer both. I really think that they'll offer both.
Unfortunately, if they don't, that's going to be a pass for me because I only have a Switch Lite now. But nonetheless, I'm excited I'm excited, man. Like, I want to see more of this. I would love to see. Here's the thing, and it gives me the biggest hot take. I like Breath of the Wild a lot. Not my favorite Zelda. It's just not. I would love to see Wind Waker. Wind Waker was stranded on the Wii U.
That's his favorite.
And that was the one that started. See, with Wind Waker started my my like, oh, it's kiddie art. Remember like how like, you know, fanboys argue about cartoon art? Yeah, I used to be one of them. It was a bad time for me. I was 15 years old when I thought that. I was a teenager when I thought that. But as a grown ass adult living in the coronavirus times, I need to escape. give me all the cartooniness. Give me all the cell shadedness. I would love to see a Wind Waker collection, man. That'd be so dope.
You know what? I mean, again, I think Nintendo's going to bring back a lot of the classics. I honestly can't wait. And I believe one of the other ones that leaked earlier in the middle of the year, or in the beginning of the year, I should say, because we're at the middle now, was that they were going to bring back F-Zero for the N64. Not the N64 version, the GameCube version with HD. And I'm a huge F-Zero fan. Hopefully that does come to fruition. But let me just catch up on again. So some super chats. We have a good friend of the show, Fastback OG NLG podcast, drops an outstanding and very generous $5 super chat and says, congrats on your success, Mr. Boomstick. Great panel today to listen to while we're here at work. Game Pass is fire. Gaming is great all around, no matter preference. Well, thank you for the congratulations, dude. Super appreciate that. And Victor Alistine drops another $2 super chat and says, did you see the Black Myth Wukong trailer? Thoughts? We talked about that. It's absolutely fantastic. We also have... Oh, yeah, this is a good one from Sin Vendetta, who drops another very generous $5 super chat. Where is my remake of Diddy Kong Racing Nintendo? Man, that was really good.
I think it's the licensees that you're not going to get that Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, it's a licensing thing, I believe. Chaos Theory is here. First of all, thanks for hanging out, dude. And he drops another $5 super chat, and he says, I want a Skies of Arcadia reboot. Anybody else? Oh my god, yes, absolutely. Rain G4 drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, to panel, will Battletoads bring you guys back okay, hold on, will Battletoads bring back you guys controllers, throwing skills? You know what, I'm not having that much of a hard time with it, to be honest with you. I'm enjoying it. I've died quite a bit, but
I have a question for you guys, actually, because I was talking to Luke about this yesterday. How much would you pay for a remake of like the old school X-Men or like Turtles in Time?
I would pay a full $60.
Same here.
Give me a package where you remade Turtles 1 and then Turtles in Time, and you charge me $60. Not a problem. Take my money.
I play it once a week right here.
Give me online day one. So I'll pay $70.
Yeah, yep. I'll pay. I think everyone would. As a matter of fact, it would be pretty awesome if they did like a Simpsons, if they did Knights of the Round. Remember the old Capcom side-scrolling beat 'em up?
They gotta bring back beat 'em ups, and the way that you can do it is inside Game Pass. I cannot wait to get stuff like Altered Beast and Golden Axe. I want those stuff remade and redone over the way that you see Battletoads. If you haven't even Battletoads and you got Game Pass, you're bugging.
Game. Please just try it. If it's not for you, okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We again. This is we're actually gonna have to do an OG podcast one day and just talk about the old days because we could be here for 3 hours. BitCloud, listen, I don't necessarily know how interested you are in Nintendo products. I don't know if Skyward Sword is up your alley, but are you interested to know that Nintendo is going to be revisiting some of their classic IPs to bring them to Switch? And obviously some people will scream cash grab, but at the same time, bringing back some of these games that a lot of the younger gamers never had a chance to play, I think is super important, just like Dreadpool said. What are your thoughts on this, dude?
Yeah, I'm actually for it. I'm waiting for Donkey Kong and Metroid.
Yes.
I'm waiting for. But at this with this one move right here with Zelda, that's just gonna put them even closer to 100 million at this point. Like they're just in a league of their own. They are in a league of their own. Like obviously you got Sony and Microsoft literally at each other's throats, right? You know, playing the game of chicken, and Nintendo just in the rafters watching it. They're just in the rafters doing something different. They're really just sitting there, and they're still like outperforming all of them when it comes to sales. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? That's the funny part. They're literally watching these two behemoths fight. They're throwing each other into the barn, into the lake. They're rolling around in the dirt. It's all muddy, and they're just sitting on the porch like Karma sipping iced tea and just like, look at these idiots. Under their nose, we're making money more than both of them. Ha ha! Keep fighting, assholes. You know, listen,
and they don't discount their games too. That's the crazy part.
They do. You do. Let me tell you something.
That is incredible.
Let me tell you what I did. Okay, this is King. You appreciate this. This is a classic boomstick story. I waited the entire year to catch up on my Nintendo games because they don't discount them. They occasionally drop $20, but that's it. You're still paying $40.
Yep.
So what I did is I waited to the buy 2 get 1 free at and don't you know, I ordered 12 games, 9 I paid for, and 3 I got for free. And that's how you do it, folks.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do it. But listen, we have to go on. We have to catch up, and we're going to move on to the next topic because obviously this one wasn't going to be a big one. And I know that people might have felt like the show might have, caught a snag, so to speak. But Nintendo does have a place, and obviously, again, because King is here, it was important to me to talk about this. Regulator 951 drops a $2 super chat. Says, "Hey King, why is Mario always creeping?" That's what he does.
You see him in the corner, right?
That's what he does.
Right over here.
He's always creeping.
Sneaky little guy.
Spider-Man drops an additional $5 super chat. Thank you for your generosity. And more importantly, thank you for being here. He says, Ryan from IGN has said he has spoken with the higher-ups from Microsoft, and they are playing chicken with Sony on price. They won't go first. And then Regulator 951 drops another $2 super chat and says, Sega, just give me a new Jet Set and Power Stone. My goodness, please. Power Stone is they could release it just in old graphics as a dual on the Xbox, and I would gladly pay full bolt for that because Power Stone was dope. And yes, Jet Set is dope also. But what I want to do is Ryan, the professional, also known as the BitCloud Gamer. I pulled this story specifically for you and me, and I'm going to throw Joe into the mix. I don't know how much of a big fan he is of Resistance Fall of Man, but I know that I am currently doing a happy dance inside my head as we speak, and in a very suspicious tweet, and not the first, oh, by the way, from the makers of Spider-Man 2018, and of course the PlayStation 5 exclusives, Spider-Man Miles Morales and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. The fine folks at Insomniac Games are busy as hell. They are potentially releasing, well, I don't know whether this is going to be a remake or a reboot or something, but Resistance: Fall of Man, the PlayStation 3 launch title, which is one of my top 5 PlayStation 3 games of all time, could potentially be coming back. And wait a second, folks, it could even be, and again, I don't know because of COVID, a launch title for the PlayStation 5. And if so, wow, what a way to bring that game back. And I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. Insomniac Games tweeted out this. It says, TFW, the weather person says the storm has a high likelihood of hail. That included an HD or remake picture of the main protagonist, Nathan Hale, who is, of course, the hero of said title. And I'll say this. I read this and I said to myself 2 things. One, God damn it, Insomniac, stop teasing because this is ridiculous already. And 2, I have been calling for a remake of sorts the entire PlayStation 4 generations. And look, if it took an entire generation to get to PlayStation 5 to get me to play the original Resistance in modern graphics with ray tracing and 60 FPS or whatever you want to put into add all the bells and whistles, I'm totally game. And look, quoting the article, the Marvel Spider-Man, when they were talking about the rear view mirror of what is currently going on at Insomniac Games, has already made it plenty clear that they are not slowing down in development of new and potentially older titles, which is great because they're currently working on Spider-Man Miles Morales and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, but they're also working on a few other projects. Now, again, I don't know if this is a Resistance 1 remake only or if this is going to be a trilogy remade, jazz it up, add some HD stuff there, move up the frame rates, add some ray tracing to it, release the trilogy, put it out there for $60, and then work on Resistance 4. I don't know, but whatever they're going to do, the Chimera is coming back, and I want to play. Ryan, I want to go to you first on this because you have been banging this Resistance drum for almost the entire 2019 campaign. And here we are in 2020, and we're talking about Resistance once again. What are your thoughts? And more importantly, what has your current investigation uncovered?
So again, after the whole website thing, I honestly believe somebody from Insomniac is watching the channel because I was like, guys, just keep your eyes put. I'm guaranteeing you're going to get something very, very soon again. And what do? They just released a video showcasing the Remington.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, at this point, the cat's really out the bag. You're showcasing the Remington. You just didn't announce when it's going to come out. You didn't announce if it's a remake or nothing. So this game is going to come out. And the question is it going to be day one or will it be in the release window? Either way, I'm there. But they're showcasing not just, and this is the cool thing about it, they're not just showcasing the first one or the second one. They're showcasing all 3.
That's the, and when you say that, that's what makes me wonder if this is a remake of the trilogy. It would make sense to do the trilogy.
Yeah, honestly, do the whole trilogy. Because at first, if you want to remake the whole trilogy, fine. You can change stuff around. Like, for example, what happens to Hale in part 2, you can skip that if you wanted to and go a different route with part 3. But again, it's just the possibilities are endless, especially when you get the confirmation from the Deathloop dev that the DualSense will jam, like the triggers will jam if like the gun jams, stuff like that. Can you imagine them?
Cool. Can I be real? It's gonna be gimmicky as hell, but that sounds fucking cool,
dude. Because no, it's funny because the alternate fire on a lot of these guns change the behavior of the guns. The bullseye, for example. Can you imagine like if you tag someone with the bullseye and you shoot, and the game will legit stop your bullet mid track because it has to track the bullet and stuff like that. They had to do a lot of stuff, man. It's the possibilities are endless. I can see them adding dismemberment to this.
Sure. I mean, with the power of the PlayStation 5, they could really do some amazing things with these games. Yeah.
Dismemberment, they can go. I just want to see man, there's so many crazy scenes in that game. Like even when you first get abducted and you see like the process of becoming a chimera, where like they show you in little tubes and like they born you as a chimera. Like they can really reshoot all this and it'd be great. And on top of all that, they can add Parker because Parker's narration in the first one is just legendary.
It is, yeah.
It's so legendary. I love that game. I can't wait to see what they're going to do next. Fingers crossed, man, if we get it this year. But if it gets delayed, I'm okay with it if it's delayed to next year. But at the same time, again, I just want to know if it's coming. I just want to know.
I'd like to know if it's real. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll say this: the one thing about Insomniac is they have a very loyal and rabid fan base, and of course, that's us. I'm talking about, right? So we appreciate what they do and how and out of all, and not really just talking about the way that they handle their business with the community, like Corey Barlog, personal friend of mine. Sorry, Joe. Sorry. Yeah. A friend of me and Luke, to be honest with you. Like Barlog talks to the community. The guys from Insomniac constantly going back and forth with the community. I love that about them. And look, I'll say this: I don't think that they would tease us, because they know that Resistance is a very, very popular franchise that people have been calling for to make a return, whether that be in, Fall of Man 4, a reboot, a remake, whatever. I don't think they would do the amount of teasing that they have done without actually delivering on the little breadcrumbs that they've been leaving for us. But Joe, I want to go to you next, because again, I don't necessarily know what your affiliation or affection for Resistance Fall of Man were, but have you been seeing what they've been doing? We're talking about Insomniac, and do you want to see this trilogy make its way to the PlayStation 5?
I remember when the first Resistance came out, they're like, this is the Halo killer.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I do remember that. That is funny.
And it wasn't a good game. I'm here to say it. I'm here to beat the drum for Team Green. No. I kid. The game wasn't for me. The one thing that it speaks to first person shooters of that time was health packs. God, I hate health packs. I remember in the first game that was like a big deal.
It was a big deal. Yeah, it was.
It was like for like the first third.
First third. Yeah, that shows how far I got into this game. So like the Resistance series, that is my blind spot. Now, real talk, my brother actually loved the third game and the move support. He thought was the coolest thing ever. Like, I remember when he was getting back into games, that was the game. He's like, I'm gonna buy this, it's gonna look so cool. And he really did think he was cool doing it. But nonetheless, who is a huge fan of this is my co-host Kyle. He loves Resistance just as much as Ryan over here. He every time they tweet, he has a little freak out. Like, what can this mean? Why are they tweeting this out? You're supposed to be promoting Spider-Man. You're supposed to be promoting Ratchet and Clank.
It's coming.
It's and I love the idea, Big Cloud, of like Ted Price is listening. The CEO of Insomniac. He's listening to your show. He's like, all right, this kid Ryan over here. Yeah, you talk about Resistance. Let's go mess him up a little bit.
Let's drop that promo.
But like, real talk, like, I mean, we're gonna talk about hopefully soon the game I'm super excited for that's rumored to come out at launch. But to see fans of the series get this little vindication, if this becomes a reality, is great. And if they just fix up, or modernize a few things to catch it and make it like up to date, quote unquote. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm going to try this out. And like, Ryan, what you were talking about before is like how the guns shoot and how that could play into
alternate fire
haptic feedback. Yeah.
You had the shield you can put up, you can shoot through walls. I mean, dude, there was just so much cool stuff back in.
And that's the thing why I love video games so much, guys, is like hearing your passion gets me excited. That's why you'll never see me go, oh, fucking Battletoads, more like shit toads. Because like, as long as people are enjoying the thing, guys, I haven't bought an Xbox game since Sea of Thieves. Like, that's awesome.
On your soul, you bought Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? Hey, listen, I love it now. So
one
like
of the greatest games that's ever made, sir.
There you go. But like, seeing that passion, man, that's what makes video games awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Celebrating the games, man. So
celebrating the games, and I agree with you there. I mean, look, King, I want to bring you into the conversation, but let me catch up with some of these outstanding super chats. We have K Stubba, 82, drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Did you see the new trailer for Martha is Dead? Looks amazing." Yes, it does look ridiculous. It was originally a PlayStation 5 exclusive. It is no longer a PlayStation 5 exclusive. As a matter of fact, it is an Xbox Series X exclusive and PC. I don't know if it's coming into Game Pass, but I think Microsoft stepped in and paid a lot of money to get that game to come over. And we'll find out more, I'm sure, soon. Shadow Ravager drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "I'm all for Nintendo doing remasters as long as they start real back compat support with the successor to the Switch." That is a great freaking point. I kind of wish they would. Rain G4 drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, where are you, Rain G4? He says this: "If you have asthma, blowing the DualSense could put you in the hospital." I hope not, dude. I don't see anybody going to the hospital. Well, a good friend of the show, Robert Olson, drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Wasn't planning on getting a PS5, but if Resistance comes out, I'll be getting a PS5 alongside the Series X." Yeah, you see, there are certain games that could release that would push people to buy said console. Resistance is definitely one of those. House Flan drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, 2 days WB sale on Microsoft might be a hint, I hope. Listen, folks, I'm going to tell you this right now. When that deal is announced, and it's coming, I want you to know that you better believe I'm going to ask people to lie in puddles as I walk over them so I don't dirty my new kicks, because I am vindicated. Okay, I'm telling you right now. Sin Vendetta, my goodness, drops another very generous $5 chat. Says, "I'm really hoping that Insomniac is just trolling you and instead announces a Fuse remake." King, listen, you played Resistance. You obviously had a PlayStation 3. You had the 60 gig one when it came out. Is that a game that you want to see redone or reimagined in some way by Insomniac, who we know is ultra talented for the PlayStation 5? What are your thoughts of all of these teases from that developer?
I was so pissed off because Insomniac was always treated like the step kid. You know,
they sure were. Yep, they sure were.
Because they weren't, in-house studio. So Killzone always got precedence over, Resistance, and I love Resistance. I thought the Chimera, I thought the stories were great. I thought the graphics were. I thought they actually held the PlayStation up when the PlayStation needed help.
Yeah, it was a standout. Yeah,
yeah, and. First and foremost, let me tell you guys, stop looking for things at launch. Okay, these dudes, This is it. What you know is coming out, that's it. All right, and you're gonna get a lot of disappointments because a lot of these games that have been announced that you've seen in these shows are gonna get delayed till next year. All right, so stop looking for Resistance to show up. Oh, it's gonna be a game. It's gonna show up. It's gonna say today. It's gonna make me purchase. It's not. All right, so if you're in when the day one comes, you're in. You're not. You're not. Next year is going to be a good year for them. So, for both of them, it's both. Both of these guys are hurting. This is the worst launch lineups I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the world took a shit this year, so
yeah, and it's continuing to defecate on humanity in ways that you have. Like California's crazy right now, but
guys, one day it's going to just disappear. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you said Monday we're going to get back to normal. Everybody wants to get back to normal. There's no such thing as normal anymore.
Yeah.
But okay, this game, if it's true, it's a purchase for me. It's not like I can go to PlayStation now and get it, right? So I gotta buy it, right? So, or wait for a super sale like a double, like Boom said. Hit me up with that double. And I might wait a little bit and get it on a double. But regardless to what, I always thought that this franchise never got their just due. And now that Insomniac is part of Sony, maybe it will. Because I thought it was a better game than Killzone.
They treated it like a third. They treated it like a third-party game when it first.
They really did. When it was a first.
That was the weird part. You notice that game? Like there wasn't really that many advertisements for the first one, and the second one got more advertisement
because it outsold what Killzone was supposed to do.
Yeah,
it fought its way to the top.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, the guns were amazing because remember, these are the same people that did Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
So
they were creative with those guns.
exactly, like that's the genius behind Insomniac.
Like, guys, they had like a sniper rifle that literally showed you the thermal of the person and like their weak spot. You remember the brain thing it did?
Yes,
bro, they did it all in Resist. I'm telling you guys, Resistance is fantastic.
That's what Insomniac is known for.
They even had needle bombs.
Yeah,
beautiful gunplay.
Yeah,
ingenious, out of the box thinking when it came to shooting.
Yeah,
they single-handedly made you think differently when it came to first-person shooters and how no longer is it sniper, shotgun,
handgun, machine gun,
auto machine gun. No, now you got a machine gun that might shoot bees. Like, you know, it's like it's different ways of thinking, and that's what made that game so good. And I can't wait if they do a remix, and I hope they do. But what excites me more is the fact that Insomniac now has the backing of Sony and is on the home team.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and with them having the crazy start that they did like this time, bro, I can see them really pushing that even further. Like, you guys imagine the Chameleons from part 2 coming back? Oh my god!
I'll tell you this. I think that Insomniac is on such a roll that I would dare say they have become, in my opinion, folks, don't get crazy, don't bring up the pitchforks and torches. I think that they have become not only one of the top, but the top developer. I think that this purchase for $229 million was. I mean, I hear you. But I have to say,
listen. I'm going to have to tell you, The Last of Us 2 defecates on that whole conversation. I'm so sorry.
That's the thing too. Like, me and him disagree on like the ending. Like, I know David loves everything about it. I disagree on like the third part about the ending. But here's the thing about it: I can't deny it. Like, Last of Us Part 2. It puts you in some of the most uncomfortable situations and makes you feel so different.
Vulnerable.
Like, it's really crazy how they did that. They pushed the realism.
If I could say one thing though about Insomniac is like, and it's what I think it's what you said, Boom, from earlier, is they're getting every dollar from that purchase. Like,
yes, they are. Yes,
like, man, the work that they're doing, if this is a reality, like 3 projects, that's nuts. And knowing that they have VR teams as well, so who knows what what's going on there. So like that's really awesome partnership by Insomniac and PlayStation there.
I think they're always in concept. There's companies that are always working. There's companies that are always producing. There's companies that are, you know, like Shadow 343 messing up. Always a frat party. And then there's companies that are always in concept. I think Insomniac is always in concept. So I don't want you to get it messed up when you say, oh, they're working on 3 projects. I believe that they have multiple projects in concept.
Yeah.
And you go to the board and they say, okay, what do we think about this? How far along do we get in concept in this? Okay, well, we're already pushing forward in Miles Morales. How far along are we done with that? And that's in development, and that's in working stage and concept stage. I believe that they're just a team of ideas. Yes. And I think that always keeps them fresh and always on their toes and always looking at their games and a different, like, that's why their games always resonate with the people at the time, and always seems to keep whatever console that they're supporting afloat for that moment, for whatever reason. Like Spider-Man hit the way, because when we saw what Spider-Man looked like when we first saw the trailers, it was like, no way, it ain't gonna look like that. I said that. I said if it looked like that, on God, that's my game of the year, and it did. And it was, and that's where they at with it with me. So I'm not gonna say, I can't take away Naughty Dog's serious work.
Throw in the garbage.
When it comes to pushing realism and story, like telling in that sense, Naughty Dog is like their ace card, right? Like that's literally their ace card. But when
they
it comes
got
to
action too. They got action too, baby.
No. I mean, listen,
I'm saying, but that's their ace card in terms of like really pushing that, that crazy realism in their game.
You can't deny what The Last of Us 2 did for graphics, for the stealth genre, for the RPG system that they've added for the upgrade system. The problem that I will have, and the reason why I feel that Ghosts and that should have a reverse score, meaning giving an 83 to, of course, Last of Us 2 and a 94 to Ghost of Tsushima, is because the story was disjointed. It was put together with a bunch of tape you found in the garbage and some stamps you turned around and licked and put it together and said, "Yo, there's your story." I don't want to talk about that. We're rolling.
Yeah, I know we don't roll off a topic. You see me drinking water, right? I'm like,
let me hydrate.
Red Bull, obviously, you're getting a PlayStation 5. Well, we know that for a fact. You're going to get You're also going to get a Series X. I don't know if a PlayStation 5 is an initial purchase or something you will purchase eventually. Do you have any opinion regarding what Insomniac is doing, teasing Resistance: Fall of Man, whether it be the single game or the trilogy coming back for the PlayStation 5?
Well, I hope it's a little bit of both. And like you guys were talking about with the, changing it up a bit and giving you something a little bit more. It was kind of cool because when King was talking about bees, I thought he said knees at first. I was like, "What? Did I hear that?" Oh, okay. No, he said bees. Okay. So, but no, it kind of falls back to yet again what I was saying before when it comes to the trilogy remaster. It gives everybody like us a chance to play those games again with the better quality, and the next generation behind us or two to grow up and get to enjoy these games. And they won't see. Obviously, they're not going to see like a siphon filter graphics. They're going to, you know what I mean? They're going to see something better. And from there, they're going to see what it's going to be at now. And then hopefully maybe that trilogy will actually bring out 4. Maybe that's the way they're going. Maybe right now it's like that Splinter Cell analogy where, a little tease here, a little tease there. See how much publicity see what we can get out of it. Is it even worth our time right now? Well, yeah, we know it's worth their time, but they have to see it. They have to reason it with the higher ups, and they also have to be interested in doing it. So if the creators aren't interested in doing it, there's nothing we can do about it. But maybe that'll get them interested too. Maybe someone slipped something out there to see, hey, is this something we should actually look into and invest a little bit of time before we start going, full bore into it.
No, I mean, what you're saying makes a lot of sense. I mean, obviously, it's going to be interesting to see what they do for sure.
I'm expecting VR probably to be added to this, like later.
That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
They threw that in there like a stealth surprise for Hitman. Yeah, remember?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was a stealth surprise for Hitman. So that'd be cool.
I mean, well, listen, again, I support VR. I've been a support since day one, but I sold it when it didn't have HDR pass through, upgraded it, and been enjoying it ever since. Iron Man VR, dope. Love it.
One more thing, can I double check? I don't know if you read it, and I know how you are. We don't want to miss any super chats. Did you read Chaos Theory's super chat? A while back.
Yeah, no, I believe I did. Yeah,
I
definitely
missed it.
No, I definitely appreciate that because again, I get very disappointed in myself as a host when I miss any of them. So thank you for that. I know we have Sir X-Men dropped a $2 super chat. Flight Simulator, highest rated game this gen. Truth. Yeah, awesome. It's getting ridiculous review. But you know what I want to do is I want to grab Crispy Bomb. Now, Crispy, we know for a fact that you are not initially buying a PlayStation 5 and because obviously you play mostly on Xbox and that's your thing. But if there was a game to come out besides Spider-Man, besides Ratchet and Clank, besides Gran Turismo, would Resistance potentially be one of those games that would make you buy a PlayStation 5?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. I mean, did you play the original?
No, because as King said, and also Bit, I was a Killzone guy. So and this is true. I mean, I really didn't even know about Resistance until like PlayStation 3 when I didn't have one. I couldn't afford one because it was so expensive. And I was fully entrenched into Gears at that point. So it's one of those things that, you know, I'm intrigued because I've never played it. You know what I mean? And if it's going to get a all-star treatment from Insomniac, because now they have the backing and everything, I mean, it's pretty smart. I mean, we have to give Insomniac's on fire, man. Like you got somebody put them out. They just, you know what I mean? They're like that meteor coming into the atmosphere, man. Like they're, you know, and the diversity of the games that they develop is insane. And you know, good on them. I mean, you know, they are putting hard work in. And Sony, you look real smart right now. I'm just gonna say that. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those games like see SOCOM would really, I'd be like, okay.
I think that's coming. That's been rumored to be coming. I really think that's when I don't know, but I think we're getting a SOCOM. I really do.
Yeah, because that's the game coming. that would get me to say, okay, I'm not gonna buy it initially. I don't have $1,000 to spend on both consoles. I don't. Right. You know what I mean? But I see a decent price decrease at some point. I'm going to be more inclined to pick it up because, I mean, SOCOM literally got me into multiplayer gaming. So, you know, and I always felt like that game was a very complete game, even for the times. You know what I mean? It had a great multiplayer for what it was on, you know, the internet we had at the time. And it had a great campaign. And it was also co-op, which is great too. So, I mean, it's one of those games that would grab me, you know, and Resistance, I mean, if it's there, I never played it. I mean, why not? You know what I mean?
I actually think that would be right up your alley too.
Yeah,
that's why I think
Killzone, you would probably really enjoy Resistance Fall of Man, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with that because I like you guys said, I mean, Sony really didn't market Resistance at all, really, like especially the first one, you know, and that was they barely like I didn't even know about it, like I said, until the generation after and generation after that. I'm like, oh, we're talking about this now. Like, what is this game? And I've watched, you know, some clips on it and stuff, and I'm like, well, I probably should have played this too if I like Killzone, you know, like.
Well, listen, folks, this is we're going to get to a fourth topic. It's going to be a little bit off kilter, something I didn't actually put into the show notes because we have so many comic book fans here. This weekend we have DC Fandom happening. Now, again, this is a little unusual, but it does involve video games. First of all, we are going to get our first look at Batman Gotham Knights, which of course is going to include the Court of Owls storyline. And from what we're hearing, there's going to be a multiplayer aspect to, of course, using the Bat family that was heavily involved in one of, in my opinion, the greatest Batman stories. I mean, you can challenge me with Hush. You can challenge me with the Long Halloween. Sure. You can challenge me with, I mean, there's a multitude of the Laughing Joke. You can go on and on, with Frank Miller's Dark Knight. But I think the Court of Owls is a storyline that a lot of people don't know, and it is a deep-rooted. So you'd be surprised who's part of this Court of Owls. I'm going to be honest with you. And of course, we're going to see our first. Now, I don't know if we're going to get gameplay. That has not been confirmed. Whether it's a trailer, whether it's going to be some gameplay, something. We're going to get, of course, Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, which is going to be incredible. Again, if you are a DC fan, Batman. A big news yesterday came out. Ben Affleck returning to the role. And it looks like he's going to be teaming up with Zack Snyder after the Snyder Cut releases on, of course, HBO Max for doing a Batman film, potentially a trilogy on that service. But I want to get the panel's opinion on what you're expecting on the two WB games. King, I'll start with you first. What are you expecting them to show Saturday afternoon regarding Gotham Knights and the new Suicide Squad by Rocksteady?
The fan in me, the world. Yeah. I want them to show the world. But as the skeptic in me, I think they're gonna show some CGI stuff for us to get our palates wet.
Do you think they're going to be both? Are you confident that they can be next generation only?
No, this has been leaked for be on multiple platforms.
Yeah, no. Those getting please. WB needs money.
Yeah,
so, and no way in hell. What they said? What put it on a next generation consoles that have a 0 user base? Not gonna happen.
And don't think you're gonna get I don't think you're gonna get a next gen free upgrade either.
Not with them. Not with those guys. They pay up now. They actually you for the money now. No. Actually, I really think that you're going to get CGI, not for the Suicide Squad, for the Batman. For the Suicide Squad, you're going to probably get something like a little plot twist, because they like to show you something, lead you in a different direction. And then when you actually play the game, you're like, oh, that didn't happen like that. So I really think they're going to probably like show them taking down Superman, because the first question is, how is the Suicide Squad going to deal with Superman? Right, because the Justice League is gods, right? And Suicide Squad is more akin to something like Marvel characters. Marvel characters are men and women with issues, right? And DC higher echelon characters are gods in human form, or want to be humans, like want to live like humans. I'm a god and I just want to be a news reporter, or I'm a god and I just want to be an archaeologist in a museum. Shut up. Like that stuff is not real. But I want to see how they deal with Superman. That's my biggest question.
Kryptonite bolts.
Well, see, that's one thing, but see, you don't want to actually kill him off, because that's a misnomer. I think the name is a misnomer, right? So I think they're going to incapacitate them in some type of way, because you can't have the villains win the day. Now, if it's set in a parallel universe, is it set in a parallel universe? Will we know if it's set in a parallel universe? Would they even say it? We will only know when we see the suits of the characters.
Yeah.
And if the suits and the characters, like, because Marvel and DC Injustice Among Us, those suits were off for a reason, because they're set in a parallel universe, right? So when you saw Superman's suit, you was like, oh, it looks a little bit different. The S is a little bit different. The cape is a little bit different. This is how DC disassociates themselves from the harm that is beset in the character.
That's not canon, basically.
Right. So that way, this can happen in an Elseworld scenario without it being canon and without it carrying over to their normal universe, and then you can accept it better. Yeah. So I just want to see what the suits look like, and if the suits look different, then they can kill Superman, and I want to see how. Like, is it going to be Deadshot that do it?
If they give you that Brainiac suit that he had in Injustice, you kill him. Kill him.
Yo, I can't wait for DC Fandom. And they're doing a service, out-servicing Marvel.
They're currently outpacing Marvel. Yeah, they certainly are. Yep.
And this is from repeated loss. Remember, people, I'm a always beat this drum. There's nothing better for change than to be humbled.
Yep.
And they got their boots knocked. I mean, seriously, because DC was winning with Superman in the movies and Batman in the movies and all this stuff, and they was winning. Then along came Marvel and knocked them out the box.
Yeah.
And showed them how it should be done. So now they are fighting back, and they are fighting so hard. So this DC Fandom, I'm tuning in. So I'm going to be there. I thought it was going to be 24 hours. Made Boom Talk yesterday. They split it up.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's the second week of September, which is the second part of it, which is how the secret panel. Ryan, you are probably as big a comic book fan as King, potentially equally in status, if you will. What are you expecting from both of these games? I mean, these games have been long in development, long rumored. We're finally we got confirmation they're both going to be there, but more importantly, we're finally going to get our first look. What are you personally expecting?
I mean, I saw I did a video on it. There was 2 leaks for both of the games, and they were saying that you can play as like Harley Quinn, you can play as Gorilla Grodd, and a few others. So they were confirmed supposedly. Another thing they talked about too was Red Hood being added to the game for Justice League, but that was going to be exclusive for PlayStation. That was the thing that was going around. Now, as far as the game, again, I'm with King. If it's an Elseworld type of story, I just want to see like how far they go. Because that's the cool thing about Elseworld stories, like that dark ending that we got for the Injustice 2.
Oh boy,
bro, that right there gets you more pumped than the good ending for that game. And it's like I want to see the game start from that point of view. You know, like the heroes disbanded, destroyed. You got Superman, pretty much just this tyrant. He's this legit god. He has the Lantern Corps beaten with his army. How do you beat someone with an army like that? And it's like, okay, we have an ace card, we have Supergirl, but who else could you throw in the mix to fight against that? And it's like, you know, that's where the critical thinking comes into play. So I love that type of style, you know, where it's not canon, they just have fun with a series and really push different stories. I love that. But honestly, though, I do want to see what's up, because they did say you can like kill certain characters, but you can't really kill all. Like Batman's not really included in the game. Supposedly, they're saying that Robin was going to be in there.
Batman's probably dead already.
Yeah, so they said Batman's not going to be included or something like that. It's going to be like Robin, and I'm like, okay. Well, if you're going to do that, then hey, let's see what's up. I mean, could you guys imagine a Jason Todd story type of thing being retold in that? Because like in Batman Arkham Knight didn't tell you the full story, the extent of Jason Todd's torture.
No,
like all you saw in that scene was just him in a chair, and David know what I'm talking about. You see him in a chair getting beat up, he gets branded, and the crowbar, and he gets branded. That's it.
It's
the
worse
significance
than
of the significance of him being down there.
Years that torture.
The significance of him being there. He was down there with the Joker for like what 2 months, David.
Yep.
And he was fed rotten food. He was beaten every single day. The dude was legit.
It's the same way people don't know what he did to Batgirl.
Oh yeah, they just think he just shot Batgirl after Batman Arkham Knight. No, he did more than that.
See, the Joker is a real villain in every sense of the word. He is
a monster.
Yes,
that's just basically that. He's a monster. That's what he is in the comic. And like you only see snippets of it in like select films. You don't really see it become a recurrent thing. Like the Killing Joke. That was probably the more accurate portrayal in terms of like what he does in comic book form. But nah, I can't wait to see it. I really am. I want to see what's up. Again, David brought up the movies. Yeah, DC's on a good roll, especially with Wonder Woman. They got a lot of hype going into the next Wonder Woman film. The Snyder Cut's about to release. Everybody's talking about the Snyder Cut for Justice League. I want to see what's up with that. Yeah, I do want to see
Black Adam, Shazam,
Black Adam, Shazam,
lots going
on. Aquaman really surprised me. That really surprised me. I wasn't expecting it to be good.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to get excited about. I mean, obviously, if you're a comic book fan, of course, you've had your toast of the town with Marvel, but now DC's going to be battling back, and we're excited. Mr. Bad Bits. Yeah. What are your expectations for DC fandom regarding these two games? What are you expecting to see?
I'm gonna be opposite of King because it's gonna make it interesting. I think you're gonna definitely see a CG trailer of Justice League, and you're probably going to see gameplay of Batman.
Okay, I believe that too. Yeah. I can't say much, but I think I'm really happy to see, like, I have like my buddy Khalif, Martini, all these hardcore, WB fans. They're getting vindicated. Like Luke, most of all, right? Like I had to check if he was alive yesterday because of all the Batfleck news. I thought that kid was gonna have a heart attack. So like, I'm excited, and really more so for the movie stuff than the games, because I kind of have like. I know what I'm getting from the games. I want to see how I want to see Matt Reeves' Batman really bad. Yeah. I want to see how that works out. I hope it works out. Like the image we saw there looks freaking dope. Like hearing Batfleck is back. He was, I think, to me, that is the best suit in the movies. I agree. 100%.
Like it's just he looked so fucking cool, man. So like
scary. Yeah, he was scary.
to me, I was like, it got me interested of like, what if they just doubled down? What if they didn't try to be Marvel? They just try to be like, this is our thing and have it like a more natural progression of these characters. You know, what if they just stuck with it? And you see, like, fans are really pumped for this. So in terms of the games, yeah, I definitely think, you know, Justice League is a game of service, so I'm more apt to believe that there'll be like an upgrade system, whether it's like temporary or not. But like other than that, I think I'm just excited. There you go.
I think DC needs to work with more like directors, like the guys behind the Joker, and Christopher Nolan, to really give you those like accurate, you know, more accurate, like with actual character progression with these with their series, because Christopher Nolan's trilogy still to this day is just
best,
incredible. Like you can watch that on loop and not get bored. It's so good. Like it's natural progression of characters, and everything just makes sense in the long run. You need the directors who think with the ending first, kind of like with Marvel. Remember how he thought about the ending first before he got to before he got there? The ending was already written. Then he worked backwards. Like, how do we get here from there? And that's how you create a saga. Yeah, you need that type of director.
No, absolutely. And real quick, let's get Dreadpool and Crispy Bomb in here, get everyone out of here because we're closing in on 2 hours, which we just crossed that mark. Dreadpool, what are you expecting at DC Fandom for these 2 games that we're finally got confirmation that they exist? Are you expecting actual gameplay or just straight up CG trailers?
Picture this video of a stage, right? Now picture Dominus Maximus stepping out.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that I got that,
picture me dying on the floor.
It would be great. Now, I'd like to at least see something. You know, some sort of trailer would be nice. I don't know if we'd actually see a CGI in-game engine or something like that, but I could see them doing like a trailer. I could see. I was actually thinking that this would be like the Suicide Squad would be like an alternate universe. I heard previously on one of your shows, somebody had mentioned Bizarro. So
yeah, that's what we thought it was before with the Justice League. Yeah.
Right. So it'd be interesting to see. Either way, I'm just excited. I don't care what they show us. I just want to see something more than just the picture. You know, I want to see a little bit if like I said, just something. Show us the world. Show us you know, some more character models so we know, like everybody else has already hinted to, we know what the costumes are, so we know which world we're in. We know what's going. You know, we have an idea better than right now. We're just making stuff up. We're hoping and praying that it's this way or that way. You know, what are they doing? Because they really can't kill off Superman. You know, what's a little bit more of the storyline? We can kind of start piecing stuff together ourselves a little bit more. We don't have enough information, so it'd be nice to get a little bit more to get us in a direction with our theories. You know, if they show a game and they say, hey, Christmas, you know, it's been long enough, it's going to be Christmas holiday 2020, I'm ecstatic, you know. But I just want to see something. I want to see what they put their heart and soul into to convince us that this is why we waited for this long. I don't want to see Halo
damn,
you know. So, but yeah, that's it.
All right. I mean, it makes sense, and obviously, yeah, Halo is that's a sore subject for a lot of folks. Crispy Bomb, why don't you give us your final opinions? We get everyone out of here. What are you expecting from DC Fandom, more specifically, the 2 games that have been long in development? And remember, the last time we got a Batman game was 2015. We're going into 2020, almost the end of the year, with 2021 right around the corner. We are all wanting a new Batman game. We know that Rocksteady is not delivering a Batman game. That's coming from WB Games, but they're delivering a Justice League game that involves the Suicide Squad. What do you want to see?
I definitely think the Suicide Squad / Justice League game should have gameplay. I mean, this is a very long dev cycle, and I understand that we have times right now that aren't great, but that's still 5 years before you're getting to this point. I think they need to knock it out of the park. They've really been kind of ramping it up on all cylinders. DC has, and we all know that DC is kind of all over the place a little bit, so they could really go whatever way they want. That would be the interesting part, because I don't see them killing Superman. So what is going to get entailed to make it different, so that maybe they don't kill him, maybe they just beat him until he sense gets knocked into him.
If it's an Elseworld story, Crispy, he will bleed. I promise you.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I know about some of those. I was more of a Marvel, comic book fan, but I definitely got into DC, because of the Batman movies more than anything back when I was younger. So, it's something that, they have a lot to show. So, don't hold back. I mean, you really, all we're hearing is about you getting sold and this and that, especially the interactive side of it. And, show something. I mean, even if you want to get purchased, here you go. Like, show them why you buy it. I don't know. It's just a little strange right now because of everything that's been rumored to be going on. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping to see a lot.
Yeah, well, me too, and it's going to be interesting. That DC Fandom starts Saturday. I believe it's mid-afternoon, lasts 8 hours. It's going to be 8 hours of content. Cannot wait for that. Let me just capture these super chats. Get everyone out of here. First of all, Sir X-Man drops an additional $5 super chat. Says, boom, did you talk about the new Xbox dashboard this week? I think it's the best and smoothest dashboard they've had so far. I hope that they don't change it. No, we're actually going to talk about that on Thursday's Xbox Factor podcast. So tune in for that. The Regulator 951 drops another very generous $5 super chat. Says this: next month I'll be getting the Note 20 Ultra. Yeah, dude, that looks dope. I will be able to get a couple of games on it. Gears 5 with the fellas on my lunch break. Can't wait. Yeah, that's what xCloud is all about, dude. Scrub Nurse, a very good and generous friend of the show. He drops an outstanding $5 super chat and says this: too bad we won't get an announcement of Xbox buying WB. Shout out to the panel and the chat. Fandom shall be awesome tomorrow. ILP will be on fire. Yeah, I'm expecting big things from ILP. They got big guests coming on. But you know what? Let's get everyone out of here. I want to thank the chat. We had over 300 people here today on a Friday morning hanging out with us, enjoying the banter. Of course, I have to thank these super chats. And my goodness, they came in an absolute abundance. Thank you so much for supporting Double Barrel Gaming. It is honestly and truly and greatly appreciated, the generosity you show me and the channel. And of course, I couldn't do this without this outstanding panel. And we're going to start with our special guest, King. You have a lot going on. You obviously have the King of Statues. You also have, of course, lordsofgaming.net that has exploded on the scene, and you have a tremendous amount of great writers there. But of course, you have ILP this Sunday. Tell everyone where they can follow you on social media, but more importantly, check out everything you've been up to.
Well, thank you guys for having me on again today. Always fun chopping it up with you guys. Also, you can catch me on Twitter. That's King David OTW. Oh, is it Lord Kingdom? I don't know. I'm at the point right now where I got to make it one unified word. But that's my Xbox. So go to Xbox if you want to add me on Xbox, because I'm playing all the time. If you want to play some Battletoads or whatever, King David OTW. Also, on PlayStation is Xbox 360 Lover 01. This is true. This is not a troll. This is true. Also, tonight at 9 p.m., you can catch me on Darth Castle X. That's DCX. That's the statue show open mic. Every Friday, 9 p.m., we're going to be talking DC Fandom. We're going to be talking to new statues. I got my Emoji cases in, so a lot of this stuff is going to change because I've been decorating and designing a whole wall of new statue and stuff to show you guys. So, that's why this week it wasn't any KOS, because I'm actually waiting for a statue to come today. I know I got statues in those boxes, but this statue is a Daniel Bell. He's a sculptor. Masterpiece.
Okay.
And I've waited for this statue, and it's only right that I debut that and Emoji case so you guys can see how to house your statues, how to keep them in proper shape, how to properly treat your $1,000 purchase or your $600 purchase or your $300 purchase, how you can actually protect your stuff. So tune in to KOS and Iron Lords podcast Sundays at 1 p.m. and lordsofgaming.net, where we have, like Boom said, a ton of writers. And if you want to know what's going on and when the pre-orders go up for your PlayStation and your Xbox Series X, you can definitely tune in there, and we'll have all that information for you guys.
Excellent. Well, always great to have you on the panel, as always. And next up, Crispy Bomb. Let's get you on out here. Thank you so much for not only being on today's show, but actually being a regular panel member. And you also have been very busy. Besides being on Breakfast with Boom, you are a part of Retro Renegades, and that is a program that is run by a good friend of the show, Graphic God, also known as Jay. He's a very talented dude. Obviously, he has his productions where he makes banners, he makes gamer picks, he makes backgrounds, he makes intros, he makes outros. He does it all. So obviously, head over to, of course, xboxgamerpicks.com to check that out. And you're also a part of the next podcast, which recently moved to Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Tell everyone where they can follow you on social media and check you out on these other shows.
Oh, shout out to you guys. Shout out to the chat. It was awesome chat today. Great to see the generosity. It's always great to have great conversations. At Crispy Bomb on Twitter. You can find me on Xbox Live, Crispy Bomb 28. Hit me up. If it's on Game Pass, I'll probably play it. So it's always fun to do. It's as easy as that, people. You can hate on Game Pass all you want, but if you're subscribed, I'm subscribed too. We could figure a game out. And it's next podcast Thursday nights, Retro Renegades Tuesday night 7 p.m. and Breakfast with Boom Friday mornings 10 a.m.
Well, thanks for being here, dude. Super appreciate it. Next up, Mr. Badbit, we're going to give you back to the PlayStation Nation. And of course, let them know that there's no tip this time because I am going broke having you on all these shows. But thank you so much for being here. Tell everyone about where they can find you on social media. Because remember, we got to get you up to 2,000 so you can wear your king crown that I know you have waiting in the wings. But also tell them about the solo episode of the Trophy Room that is making some big noise.
Yeah, man. You can find me over on Twitter at Mr. Badbit. And you can find the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players, where usually each and every Thursday, me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation. This week, I done goofed. RTX voice did not work, and you literally just heard my AC the entire way through, and it was just like it was awful. So I had to redo the whole show. It was a solo experience, and a lot of people really dug it. So I greatly appreciate it. Kyle, you're on notice. So with that said, you can find that episode. Poor Kyle, he gets a lot of shit from me, especially this episode, which is fantastic. But seriously, huge things are coming our way, and I can't wait to finally say all the things. So make sure you're following me, because the next couple of weeks are going to be pretty crazy. Make sure you're following the Trophy Room on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us there.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for being here, as always. Next up, BitCloud Gaming. You, my friend, are a main cog of Breakfast with Boom. You also, though, have your own show going live today at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which a lot of people need to tune into. You're closing in on how many subs now? I guess you're two shaky.
I am 90 away from 8,000.
Nice,
wow,
dude.
That's big. That is a big accomplishment, dude, and well deserved, in my opinion. Do me a favor, dude. Tell everyone where they can follow you on social media, but more importantly, sub and tune into your show later this afternoon.
Well, first of all, it was a pleasure, like always. Dreadpool. It's been a minute. Really good to talk to you again. Obviously, David, you already know what's up. Shout out to everybody else in the chat. You guys can find me at BitCloud Gaming on YouTube and Twitter. Also, I forgot to announce this. I was going since David's here, it's perfect time to announce this. So Monday, Evan Folarka, who is the leader of the Spidey Squad, is coming through for a 101, and we're going to talk about all the potential villains for Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and the franchise. Plus, go a little bit into the actual to films as well. So it's going to be fun.
That's going to be beautiful, sir.
Excellent. That's a big get, dude. Congratulations on that. Well deserved. That is a big get, especially because Miles Morales is going to be an incredible title, a launch title potentially for.
Lock his legs in. Make sure that he says launch title. like it day and day as the console. When I boot it up, am I gonna be able to boot it up? Like lock him in. Lock him in.
And last and no way least, making his debut as a regular Breakfast with Boone panel member. You know him as Dreadpool. I call him Superman. Dreadpool, do me a favor, dude. Tell everyone where they can follow you on social media, but more importantly, check out your YouTube channel.
All right. Well, first and foremost, thank you to the chat. Thank you, Boone, for inviting me on. The panel guys, you guys are awesome. As always, King, it's always a pleasure with you too to be on here.
Brother.
I'm surprised you're not a panel member yet. Wink, wink, hint, hint.
Listen. Boone was talking about that yesterday.
So,
they were like, I'm gonna need 2 statues on the price of on the house, and I'm in.
Boy, making it hard.
You can find me on Twitter as Dreadpool. The O's are actually zeros. YouTube gamertag, and yes, again, Stadia. I am still there because I am still getting my free games. Dreadpool.
I'm gonna join you.
Okay. Now, this is weird for me because I'm not used to saying this, but you can find me every week on Gaming Beyond the Box Wednesday nights.
Nice. Yeah, that's right. Yes, Wilmies. I totally forgot about that. You're absolutely correct. That's your new addition to there. And I was actually on there with Dealer Gaming this past Wednesday with you as well. But yeah, dude, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of Breakfast with Boom. You're going to be a great addition and bring a tremendous amount of gaming knowledge. Real quick, as we get on out of here, Viper XT, a very generous friend of the show, drops a very outstanding $10 super chat and says, late to the party today. We'll check the show out later. Congrats on 5,000 subs, Boom. Did you see the Martha is Dead? Yes, we briefly talked about it, but we're going to be talking about this particular topic on Monday evening's primetime gaming because this particular game was originally slated for a PS5 exclusive. It somehow moved to be an Xbox Series X exclusive, confirmed today in the new trailer, and quite frankly, the trailer is making a lot of noise. So we're going to be talking about that on Primetime Gaming this Monday. So I want to thank you for your $10 super chat, and of course, thank you for being here as always. And of course, I'm going to close out something that it's important to me. Hopefully, it will be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught me when I was a young pup. And it made me a better man, but more importantly, made me a better police officer in my 21-year career serving the fine citizens of NYC. And he used to say, son, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, and I can guarantee you, you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. We'll see you next week on the newest episode of Breakfast with Boom.